Wonderful. Welcome. Super. We're going to hit that live button and go live and start letting everybody in to our meeting. So let's let everybody turn their cameras on because we like to see everybody and we like to hear where you're calling in from uh, as we're going to get started here. Sweden. Hey, Sweden.
Denmark.
And Denmark.
In Denmark also.
Also Denmark.
Yeah.
Canada's in the house.
Canada.
South Africa.
I hear Washington, and I heard somebody South something, but I didn't hear what it was.
South
Lake Lanier,
Africa?
Georgia.
Oh, Georgia,
Canada.
South Africa. How fun is that? Welcome, welcome.
Toronto.
And Toronto. Welcome. Anybody else want to say where they're calling in from?
Spain.
Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Ontario, Canada, and Spain. How fun is that?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
North Carolina, we can hear that accent. I love it. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. Here we go. I think we're still letting people in. So I'm going to give it one more minute here before we get started. Anybody else want to say where they're calling in from while we're just waiting for the last of the people to be admitted here?
Arnie from Canada here.
Hey, Arnie, how are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Hello, Carla. Priest Kemper from Texas.
From Texas. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, Miss Carla, if everybody else is going to represent the South, I might as well say hello, Angel Fletcher from New Orleans.
Hey, Angel, and congratulations to you, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So fun to see the growth and new people coming and having success. We love it.
Hey, it's Katrina from Wetumpka, Alabama.
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
We're still letting people in here as we go, but we are now a minute over here, so we are going to get started. And I do mute everybody because sometimes you get that going on in the background somewhere and it makes a little bit of noise. But happy Wednesday, everybody. The first of the month. We are always excited to be on these team training calls, especially right now. Right now is like the high season of direct sales, no matter pretty much what company you were in or came from. This is always like the max that you can get out of the month. And we know that this month we have in Zinzino something we call the ECBX, which is like 3 times all the credits. So that's a positive thing. And we know from experience at the end of the month, we always have our Black Friday sales coming on. So it's an exciting month right now at the beginning of the month. I know many of you have already set goals that you want to accomplish for this month. And no matter what goals you want to do, you want to help as many people get started. And when people really understand Zinzino and they understand all the goals that we have in Zinzino and the vision that they have, and really about changing world health, right? Making a difference in world health. We are definitely the forefront of making the biggest splash waves out there around the world. And we know with these huge goals we have, we need more people to be working with us. So recruiting is a big deal. And we don't get anything out of somebody just getting started in the business. We want to have their success, right? So either getting customers or partners, we want both. And I absolutely love that we have, like, I think the average right now is 22 customers for every partner. And of course, we want to get that over 25. But we also see so many people coming to Zinzino, whether you're coming from another company and saying, okay, this is actually a really good company to be a part of. We hear that from so many of the companies that have been coming to Zinzino through acquisitions. But even the new people who hear about Zinzino, they hear how amazing the company is and the potential of where we're going with this. In every country, no matter all of these countries we heard from, there's such a few percentage of people that have even been tested in that country, right? Even if we're getting to 1%, a very few countries are getting to 2%, and I think there's one or two that we're at like 3%, but there's so few. But with the goals and the vision we have, we know we're going to be looking to recruit more and people want to. But how do we do that? How do what is the best practices for recruiting? So today I have on somebody who also came from another company who actually, I think, targeted this company for his whole team to be a part of. Has absolutely fallen in love with, he was already in love with the products, but now in love with the company itself. And here we are. Now, he came into the company this year and has one of the top titles. Over his time in direct sales, he has sponsored over a couple hundred people, he says, which is a high number, but also helping them have success. So we've got one of the top recruiters of the industry coming on to talk to us today about one of the number one topics we need to all be learning and can always learn more in the topic of recruiting. So I'm excited that he is on. I think he is absolutely amazing in how he builds a business, but also himself as a person and his family. We all just love him, the integrity that he has and how he's been building. So I'm super honored that he is here. Now, President Zinzino, thank you for joining. Let's give him a warm Zinzino welcome to Andi Duli. Hey, Andi.
Hey, Carla, good to be on. Hey, Zinzino Familia, love you guys. Good to be here.
Andy, you have sponsored a couple hundred into the industry. And we know that now in Zinzino, we have a company that is absolutely crazy, crazy good. The company, the products, the industry itself, the company of Zinzino, some people get in because of the community, which we've got a great one. And then there's also people who just like to have the purpose. And we've got it all. But we want to know, like, how are you sponsoring and how can we get the most out of sponsoring ourselves?
Yeah. I've sponsored a few hundred people, Carla, in my career. But if I may talk maybe 2, 3 minutes, because I think the mindset drives behavior. Behavior drives results. So when I started in this industry, I was a blue collar worker. I was a college dropout. I had applied for so many different jobs. Not only did people not or companies did not hire me, I kept getting rejected for even, any kind of job to the degree that I truly felt there was something wrong with me. So here I am, I'm a full-time pizza delivery driver. I have a young family. I have 2 jobs. The wife was a school teacher, and feeling like maybe I'm not meant to have more, do more, be more. Until I met this guy from church who showed me the industry, and I shared that to just make the point that anyone on this call can earn more because you can become more. Anybody on this call, you are not your rank, you're not your challenges, you're not your struggle. So I have this belief that it's a fact that we're God's highest form of creation. When I see people, my whole thing is how can I believe in them and how can I keep believing in them, whether a prospect or a team member, to the degree that someday that strong faith of mine can be like an incubator of their potential. So knowing where I come from, knowing, coming here to this point in this company, it's possible. Now, the recruiting, truly, that skill, Carla, blessed me, took me from struggling, looking for self-respect, looking for, a way out. I was actually looking for a different career because college didn't work for me, and to true freedom, to a life I never thought was possible. So 2 parts, if I may, on recruiting. Part one is the mindset, and the biggest thing for me is I am so in love with the industry. I love this profession. I think it's the purest form of the free enterprise, and I own it at the core. I own it more than what somebody may think of me. And so in your heart of hearts, if you're a new partner right now, if you have been in for a while, if you feel like you're stuck, or if you feel like your momentum, how do you feel about being a part of this industry? I don't care what business people are in, whether they have a mortgage business, a restaurant business, or whether they simply have a small mom and pop shop. You have to build a team. Otherwise, you're just an employee, you're a business operator. So if you want to be a business owner, you got to build a team. If you have a restaurant business, and I was a waiter, I was a pizza delivery driver. There is such a turnover. I don't want to build a team with people that don't know what they want in life and are here today, they quit 2 3 weeks later. I want to build a team with entrepreneurs where everybody has a chance to win big. So the love for the profession, I think it's so strong, and I don't have time to compare it to different businesses. And if you treat it like a business where you can be 3 4 5 years down the road, 7 years down the road. Second thing is in love with Enzino, customer for 6 to 7 years prior. So nobody can tell me the product doesn't work. I have been buying this for my mom and dad, for my whole family, my kids, my wife, because they truly have, I mean, the best omega in the marketplace in the world, and the blood doesn't lie, right? And so having that love. And then the second thing is maybe some of the principles, Carla, if I may share half a dozen principles that drive my thinking, where are my glasses? So if I have a pair of blue sunglasses, everything seems blue. If I have a pair of brown sunglasses, everything is brown. That's the paradigm, that's my perception that governs my behavior. So some of the principles that have served me well in business, is in recruiting, is number one. Everybody already knows this. It is such a people business. It's such a relationship business. Long-term relationships truly, equals long-term business. And I love our Jonas philosophy: make a friend, help a friend. And so that's big. Authenticity and integrity, and really owning the business, I think, is so important. Number two, everybody on this call attaches an emotion or a belief to certain behavior. And recruiting, if you're to ask me what's recruiting to you, recruiting to me is like building a bridge for somebody where they are and where they can be, where they are to what they want in life, in terms of better health, whether it's community, whether it's financial security. So recruiting to Andy Dooley simply means I'm serving, I'm helping people, I'm making an impact. And so number three, and then we'll talk details and some of the how to's, but I think these are important. Number three is the ability to see someone, a prospect, whether online or offline, the ability to see them as a gift, not as a target. See, I'm a man of faith, and if you have God's love in your heart, you will love his creation. And perfect love drives away fear, because I know I have the best, because I know that if they're not testing, they're guessing. If they're guessing, they could be wrong. I have something, I feel like that balanced soil is one of the best gifts to humanity. It's if you don't have your health, what do you have? So I see people as a gift, as somebody that maybe as a door to open, as relationships I can build an impact. Number four, and Carla, jump on if you want to cut, interrupt, ask questions,
I'm not
comment.
interrupting any of this. This is spot on perfect. You keep it going. Loving it.
Good. So we're not hunting people down. I mean, a true professional will find needs, will find the pain, and then they get on the other side, on the same side with the prospect, and they look at the pain and they recommend a solution. And sometimes, if you ask the right questions, and we can talk about that, if you ask the right questions, you can help a prospect even find out pains that they didn't realize they had. and you can share with them through a story, through an example or two, and you can share with them what life would be like for them if they got rid of that. And then you can simply invite them to take a look as a solution to their pain or as a bridge to their dreams, right? But it takes that being present with people and seeing them, as somebody that you can honor. And I honor the no. Now I make it not about me. If it's about me making a commission, me getting paid, I'll get butt hurt if somebody says no. But if it's about them, me finding the need and me recommending a solution to their need, it's just that they say yay or nay to their dreams. So number four to me would be posture. I think posture is everything. Confidence and certainty is a skill that anybody can exercise at any level at any time. And posture is your aura, and it will introduce you to a prospect, will introduce you to the room you enter before you even approach people and you say hello. So shoulders back, chin high, eyes focused, maybe big smile. Your energy is so important. So posture is everything. And to me, I put things in perspective. I cannot lose what I do not have. My company is in over 100 markets around the world. Zinzino has access to billions of people. Not one person can break my career. But if you attach loss to a person, I bet there are people on this call today that you have not reached out to certain person because you are attaching loss. What if they say no, or maybe this is too good for them? Because in your heart of hearts, you do not own the business, you do not own the industry. Maybe you don't quite understand yet what Zinzino is all about, this amazing community, this whole breakthrough. And I can share with you, Carla, maybe through the call, my vision, what I see. And I think that vision combined with some compelling reasons I have just makes me wake up and can't wait to go share it with the world. So posture is important. I can tell you stories after stories of just the moment I send the moment I sense somebody's not interested, I have to take it away from them. And so I think so posture is key. So you need people, but not any kind of person. You never want to be in a baggy kind of attitude. Number
So
five is yeah.
just a sec here, because and I am going to, because some people are like, okay, all of these things are stuff that's kind of like behind the scenes. It's behind what you're doing. It is a lot of mindset or how people are approaching people. I think, and the crazy thing is I think how powerful this really is, and a lot of people might not realize how much it is behind the scene. Like you said something in regards to, how you think of them. I really believe that people feel that. So when you're coming in and you have the mindset of, I want to see how I can help them, or I know for me, I'm always kind of thinking of them, can I see them up on stage having their diamond speech? Are they the next diamonds in the team? And that actually, I think they can feel that. So that mindset of how you approach people, and not as like, okay, is this going to be a customer and partner, but how you can help them. That's a huge change, right?
Oh, it is, and I was trying to look at my notes. Erica Kirk, she shared three sentences that Charlie Kirk had on his desk that he had to remind himself every single day. And number one, I believe I couldn't find the notes, but if I remember right, the first one was Lord, or how can I add value to someone today? How can I impact and serve someone today? Number two is, how can I add value to the world? How can I make the world a better place? So whenever I approach somebody, whenever I'm talking to someone, and I can tell you stories after stories of people that I share the business with or I share the products with, and they had such a huge health breakthrough and such a huge financial breakthrough that to me, it's selfish of me. It would be selfish of you not to share it with people. But because it's about, if you're an amateur, it's about you, and it's easy to have a need for you to get a yes. When you release the need to get a yes, when you release that, and you just maybe a prayer in the back of your mind, Lord, use me, and let me see how I can help and serve and impact, and where you get more present. I mean, I don't know about you, but I would be inspired to reach out via text, via phone call, or go say hi to somebody, or go join certain groups on social media. People are everywhere, and go like certain posts, go make a conversation, go take the conversation private. So some of these principles is what drives my behavior. So very important. Numbers game is another one. I have the right expectation where half the people get it, half the people don't. But I am not attached to the outcome. And success to me is in the show. It's not in enrolling somebody because I cannot control that. But if I can just show the plan to someone, and I love to share it through, through a tool without explaining the business myself. Because my goal is if I met Carla today as a prospect and I share with Carla the business, and let's say something happened to me, I can go or I can be in the hospital and say, Carla, do what I did with you. Because I'm so big on duplication, and it starts the moment you prospect somebody. I have the skill to sit down with somebody, ask them the right questions, be present, honor them, find the pain, scratch,
Okay,
scratch.
that's you have so many things here that I'd like to dissect it a little bit. So first of all, if you have the right mindset and the feeling and the right posture and attitude coming into the meeting, because then now you're already starting into like the things that you do practically, and you just went through so many of them. Those are all gold mines. But let's just go back to this having that mindset and having so the mindset about what you're doing for people. And also you said something about like when you know that you do have a different posture coming in. So for those who don't have those two things, or what do you usually say or do to help with that mindset and help with having that posture? Is there something people can do for that? I know sometimes I mean, in my head, I'm thinking, they could maybe borrow their uplines and have that upline on for that. Or is it just digging into things, or what do you do to help people get that mindset and get that posture?
Yeah, so sometimes I tell somebody a story, and I mean, training is important for people. What I'm sharing is what I've done throughout the years, but somebody shared some of this stuff with me, and Carla, my whole um, on the posture is Orient talks about personal development
Mhm.
and professional development. So when I got started in business, one of the very first books I read was Think and Grow Rich, which I think is so powerful. Tony Robbins went that for advice to Jim Rohn many years ago, and told Jim, I'm struggling, I'm stuck in life, advice for me. And Jim asked him, Tony, have you read Think and Grow Rich? And Tony said, yes, once. And Jim replied, it shows. And Tony said, that's all I needed to hear. So he studied that book. So thoughts become things. And most people don't think about what they think about. Magic of thinking big, I think it's a very important one. It's so classic, it's so simple, yet so powerful because it helps people understand that poverty or maybe prosperity are nothing more than offspring of thought. And from the neck down, we're all the same. So working on people's mindset and belief in themselves, and how to win friends, influence people. I read that book 7 times. I had broken beliefs. I had a very low self-image where I took things personally. And so how to win friends, influence people, personality plus, how to have power, and I was the other one by Les Giblin. So certain books on personal development, and then on the business, helping people setting the right expectation for them and letting them know that it's not a 3-month plan, 6-month plan, and I see this as a multi-million-dollar business. So when I talk with people, I mean, I can recruit CEOs of a company, I can recruit high executives, because by golly, this business, Zinzino has spent millions of dollars in product development, infrastructure development, and test base is the future. We're the pioneer, the global leader of that mega trend. And I have the posture that what I have they need. Every cell in our body is made of omegas. Find out where your diet is. So the posture is realizing that not everybody says yes. People go from Pepsi to Coca-Cola, from one insurance company to the other. They quit on their faith, on their families. What they do is their choice. So put things in perspective for a brand new partner, get them connected. If you're new today, you got to stay connected to the team. It's impossible to not plug in and go win. So I think through experience, and I think having the desire and the hunger to do better in life. Mom and dad was depending on me back home in Albania, and coming from poverty and then having that tough mindset where obstacles and challenges, they just build muscle, and every challenge or quote unquote failure or disappointment, to me, to Andi Duli, they're actually more important. What they bring is so much more important, because they bring me strength, wisdom, and knowledge, which is necessary for me to go to the next level. So I
I love
think
that.
through
I love that.
education, I think we can teach and train people, and
So
then
if people are having issues where they know that they don't have that confidence, they don't have that posture, and they don't quite have that knowledge, the learning and the personal development that you did is what you did to help develop that. And use some of the uplines in your meetings so that you have somebody with that posture and with that belief. Okay,
okay,
now
the three
you
recalls,
start
yeah.
already, you started already going into some of these basics of what you do, and I was like, oh man, there's so many of them. We got to write them all down, and I am ready for it. But so I want to go into the specifics of recruiting. Because meet people all the time, and you said something about sometimes you're not contacting certain people, but when you are thinking of recruiting, or what is your process of how you start talking to somebody? What is it? Because you were already talking about, I send them a video and so I'm like, wait a minute, we need to know who are you talking to, who's on your list, how are you contacting them, and what do you do when you contact them? That's where we're set. What do we
Yeah,
need to know?
okay. Let me share one more thing, and then we'll go to
Okay.
my 2, 3 skills that have made me a multimillionaire. 2, 3 skills. So,
Okay.
so another big principle is not to have the commission breath and detaching from the outcome.
Wait
When I
a
was
minute, not to have commission breath. What do you mean by
it's important because it's so, I think if I had the commission breath, and I don't know how I learned this in my career, in my business, even when I was broke, I would go into a Panera Bread and meet with a prospect. Man, my shoulders were back, my chin was high. I've always been a workout guy, so I think it's how you feel is so important. The energy is so important. If I was a couch potato, it's so much harder, in my opinion, to show up better in relationships and business. So I think, taking care of your health, eating clean, 3 times a week, a brisk walk, right? Before calls, I would jump around, I'd go in the mirror, I would talk to the man in the mirror. I would look at the color of my own eyes, and I would talk to myself. I would speak life. And every person on this call, every human being already talks to themselves. The problem is we beat ourselves up and we have such a negative self inner dialogue. No wonder why we don't feel right. And the emotions are the currency of the subconscious. The emotions drive behavior. So not having a commission breath. I kissed a girl when I was, I don't know, middle school, and and she had a rotted tooth. Oh my gosh. And I think, I mean, it was like, and commission breath stings worse than a rotted tooth and repels people from you. So just keep that in mind. Now, going back to
Really
to your
what you're focusing on again. So keep your, and people, as you said, people don't always think about what they're thinking about. That's important.
No,
That was a
they
good one.
don't. So on the skill one, I think is being a curious state, in a state of, curiosity, which is almost like you're in a grateful, you're in a state where you want to learn about them, you want to make a friend, you want to see how you can help them, and curiosity beats convincing anytime. And then if you're curious and if you ask questions, and then skill two for me was, find the need, find the pain, find the dream, find the desire. And some people have lost that. And maybe you can spark it in them through a story of someone that also had lost it. So if I'm talking to a pizza delivery driver, I'll find another pizza delivery driver story. If I'm talking to a single mom, there is so many single mom stories. You bring awareness, maybe a little inspiration for them, right? So find the spark, the need, and the want. And then and the third thing would be, and this is so important, connecting their pain, connecting their dream, connecting their why to the business, to Zinzino, to the product. So as you find it, and sometimes I will pre-screen someone. My time is very valuable. I'm never going to chase somebody. Sometimes in the back of my mind, I'm like, give me reasons to just, you know, for lack of better words, scratch you off my list, right? And now I'm gracious, I'm patient. I want to make an impact. I love them, but I am not going to back.
Oh,
So
but
some,
just because I think that's a powerful thing too, because if people are experiencing the talk to the hand feeling, people and either they might have commission breath or they're not finding that need, that dream, the the pain and connecting it with something that can help. Because if you found that first, you're going to always have people leaning in.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are in that state of, confidence and love and patience and curiosity, and you ask the right questions, and then you will find the pain, and then you can tell. Sometimes I ask people the question, do you have a plan for that? If somebody will, I'll find the pain, I'll find the dream, and do you have a plan for that? And if they say no, or if they are not strong, my response would be, whenever you want to, whenever ready, I would, or I have something that can help you do that. I have something I have found, I came across something that I believe can help you, and I mentioned it word for word. And whenever you're ready, I would love to run an idea past you. So sometimes I leave it out there. I find the pain, and sometimes I can either be direct and tell them, "Hey, found something that can help you have your wife be a stay-at-home mom, or found something that can help you be debt-free, and I'd love to show it to you." And I pause, right? Or whenever you're ready, a little bit more, you step back, right? A little bit stronger posture. Whenever you're ready, I would love to run an idea past you. And people say, Andy, tell me, like almost every, because now you're speaking their language. Their biggest question a prospect has is, what he can do for me, how can you add value to me, how can this help me in my pain, me and my family, me and my dreams, how it can serve me. So if you speak in terms of that, people say, tell me more. If they tell you more, if they tell you, okay, give me more information, now they have given you permission, and your posture and your shoulders have remained back. But I'll also
I like
pre-screen.
that because you're saying find the need, and that's really, when you're being genuinely curious and genuine in general, and so that you find that need and can offer a solution. That's what a good friend would do. And then you have people wanting to know more. I heard you say at one time, as soon as you know that they're wanting a little bit more, you did something of where you take it away right away. What did you mean by that? Is that part when you found the need, you've got an option? Is
No,
then
so the moment I find or the moment I intrigue somebody, there's a threshold, and everybody, and if you pay attention, you will know, or they lean in. The moment you have intrigued somebody through, and it can be through a quick story, it can be by mentioning three, four, five sentences about Zinzino, where 20 years in business, publicly traded, solving a huge problem around the world, the pioneer and the global leader of test-based nutrition, huge financial opportunity, just now expanding in our city and state. Big opportunity. And the moment somebody says, okay, tell me more, on that threshold, that's when I invite them to a tool. That's where I'm so big on not explaining, never getting to any Q&A. And if a brand new partner gets asked a question, how much to start, they've already gone so much in details. So you've got to be the messenger, not the message, because to have a big check, it takes a big team. To have a big team, it takes duplication. To have duplication, it's simplicity. And I'm just wired. It's like everything I do must be so simple that it can work 10 countries away. It can work 50 levels below me. It can work with anybody from any profession, because we want to give a chance to the people that doesn't have the experience like myself. And I learned this because the guy that pitched me the business for the very first time, he just asked me a few questions. He intrigued me with his posture and the bird's eye view, 4 or 5 sentences of the company. And then he just gave me a tool. He pointed at the tool. And at that time was a DVD. Now it's a video, a Zoom. Now we've got all the tools. Guys, I could not wait to get together with him to get the DVD. So the moment you see, they're intrigued, that's when you say, we've got a Zoom tonight, and you talk briefly about the person presenting, build them up, and invite them and say, come and be a fly on the wall. Come and hear the story and the impact. I believe this can really help you. I'll send you the Zoom link. And if they ask me more questions, I'll say, I think if I'm on the phone, sometimes I joke around and say, well, it's kind of like trying to give you a haircut over the phone. I think it's best if you hear the whole story so you can get the full picture. And I believe you'll be impressed. And I really believe it can help you be a stay-at-home mom, or I believe it can help you boost your financial security, or I'm speaking to their pain, and then I invite them. So it's easier for me to say less to more people. And I tell people, say less to more people, don't do the presentation yourself. And so as you create curiosity through those bullet points, I
so
think,
when you say
yeah.
don't do the presentation yourself, so you as a president, what are you using for those? Because a lot of people would say, well, aren't you showing them?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know the business.
Okay, no. So what I mean by that is when my mouth is moving, I'm pointing at a tool. So I do the Zooms, right? I do the Zooms. I have team members that do the Zooms. I invite I do Zooms a few nights a week. And the reason I started those Zooms, Carla, is because during the day I only have so many hours to prospect. And if I show it to each person individually, I only have so much energy, so I got to manage it, effectively. It's easier for me to go have 5, 10, 12 conversations and invite people to my 7 p.m. At night, Zoom done by me or by other team leaders. So yeah. So what I mean by not doing the conversation is not explaining the business just through talking and discussing. And here's why: subconsciously somebody will make a decision whether the business is for them or not based on the simplicity of how you showed them. And if you try to explain them the entire company and the product and the pricing, everything, right? If you try to do the whole business, in the back of their mind, there many people say, well, I cannot do what Andy Duli does. I cannot do what Carla does. I cannot do what Angel Fletcher does. I mean, they're professionals. I look how they talk. I am just a mom. I'm just a delivery driver. I'm a waiter. But if you give a few bullet points and invite them to the tool, subconsciously they're like, I can do that. And sometimes, Carla, I'll talk to a prospect.
Powerful.
And
Powerful.
sometimes I talk to a prospect and I'll tell them, I say, hey, John, pay attention to what I'll do with you. And if you can do the same, you can build a huge business. And if not, it's not for you, it's not for everybody. So there, I just tell them up front, pay attention to the process. If you can do it, there's hope for you, right? That you can make it big. You can be a president someday. If not, not for everyone. And then now John is perking up. So now I can share a quick story. I can share 3, 4 bullet points about the company, and I can invite them to a Zoom. I can invite them to a local event, and so that's my process. I can have a lunch in a restaurant or a dinner. I can compliment the waiter, or I can ask them a question, like I can pre-screen them, hey, great people skills, great job tonight. I appreciate, what you did. And by the way, are you entrepreneurial kind of guy? I want to know. And their answer tells you a lot. Have you ever thought about having your own business? Or have you ever thought about building passive income? And I tell them our Jonex break the zero story. And then I always exchange numbers. I love to get numbers. I never deliver the presentation right then. I just connect either on social media, or I get their number by saying, hey, let me text you my number. What's yours? I get their number, and then I have a conversation with them, normally within 24 to 48 hours. It was nice to meet you. So I've already told them briefly about our company is expanding in the city and state, and looking for some good people. Could be huge, if there is a fit. I love to say that, because there's got to be a fit for what I'm looking for, the kind of person I'm looking for, and something that they may be looking for, because it may not be for them. So if there is a fit, could be big for you. Let's chat. Tell me more. I said, let's exchange numbers, and we can chat the next day or two. As I'm getting the number, I'll ask them, when do you get off? And okay, we'll chat tomorrow night. And I put in my calendar right then, and I just follow up on the phone briefly. What's your story? Tell me about yourself. So that's my whole process of recruiting. And I've brought some amazing people. Tell me your story. Like, I'm intrigued with people's stories. I'm always going to take notes. And if I have my earbuds on, sometimes I'll close my eyes. Sometimes I'm just listening for the sound behind the sound. I'm trying to find the pain, trying to find the dream. I'm trying to, if I never talk to this person again, I want to leave them. I truly, sincerely, I want to leave them better than I find them. And as I do that, then I share, second step, I share my story. But because I know so much about them, and when I share my story, now I'm making a connection. And when you go from chatting with somebody to connecting, right? Gosh, I mean, they're drawn to you.
So when you're chatting with someone to connecting, I like that, that you're really working at building the relationship. So let's say, okay, we've got a lot of partners right now. A lot of people really want to run here in November. They've got their list, right? How would you suggest for them to start hitting those, because we want them not just to have a meeting here and there. If they really want to do some serious business and they treat it like a business, you want to get up to those 10 meetings a week or more, as many as you can get. So if they've got their list, what are you recommending to all the partners that are watching this or watching the replay of this? What should they be doing right here and now?
Okay, so tonight at 7 o'clock p.m., 7 p.m. Central, I'll be sharing the Zinzino story. And Carla, happy to put the link here on, and I've got a couple of a few Facebook groups where it's open to anybody, and I share it in a compelling way. I believe in authenticity, right? I believe in integrity, and just You know, because if I sell them into coming in, I have to sell them into staying. I don't want that. There are so many people that want to raise their hand. So tonight, 7 p.m., and we do, I'm sure you've got team leaders that do Zooms.
Yep.
Carla, you guys do Zooms. And then you can invite some people tonight. But for the month of
So
November,
let's talk about that. So you've got this list. What do you want them? How do they invite? How do they look at their list? Because I think a lot of people don't know what to say or do to the people on the list. So what I'm your partner right now, Andy. I mean, we're not really in the same team, just
Yeah.
so people know that we're not, and we're still going to help each other and root for each other for every step we take in this. I know that. But let's say I'm your brand new partner here, or I've even been in your business for a year and I've got my name list, Andy. What do I do? What do you suggest I do to get people on the call tonight?
Great
What would,
question. Two ways. If you're, I'm gonna, yeah, if you're close here, so if I know you, and if I know your pain, if you're a friend, I'll try to always get on the phone with you. Carla, text me when you have a quick moment. Got something I want to run by you, or I got to ask you something. So if I get you on the phone, I'll say, "Hey, Carla, a while back, you told me that you wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Hey, Carla, a while back you told me you wanted to take kids to Disney. Hey, Carla, a while back you told me you wanted to retire your mom." Or I'm just going to mention that. If that's still the case, if that's still the case, I found something that I believe can truly help you do that. Whenever you want to, I'd love to run an idea past you. So that's one way where you say, tell me. And then when you say, tell me, I never go more than this 4 or 5 bullet points. And by the way, recruiting has a lot to do with a story. And people remember stories. So you can also share very briefly how you found Zinzino, why you said yes, so how you found it. Hey, I met this guy in church, and you know why you said yes. Because if you're authentic, you tell them your why. Now you've allowed them to come into this authenticity presence, right, where you're both you've got transparency, and then you've got to add a all in. This company is making such a big impact. Words paint pictures, pictures draw or repel. So their company is making such a big impact, and I'm on track too. Whatever your goal and dream is, the next 90 days, the next year, the next 2 years, because people are drawn to movement, are drawn to progress. I'm on track to building a 6-figure check. I'm on track to being a stay-at-home mom the next year. I'm on track to, and then huge financial opportunity. I thought of you. I think you'd be amazing at this. Whenever you want to, come and hear the story. Don't say presentation, words paint pictures. Come and hear the story. Come and be a fly on the wall. So that's one way.
those are some pretty powerful things. Come and hear the story, not the presentation. I like that one. I'm going to change that in mind too. So now if I'm your partner, if we've had partners on this call, and so you would suggest that they call and be a good friend to the people on their list, find the dream, the pain, the why, the the hurt, whatever it is that they need to find, and then say you might have something for it, and then point to the meetings. And that is as simple as, so that they're not trying to give a presentation, they're not trying to do something. You just take what that person is, and if you're being a good friend and you have people know that you have the authenticity and the integrity, that you're really trying to help them, you can invite them to be on. Now, you also mentioned, and I can see Daniela put in the link for tonight. And we will have somebody also, because I'm streaming right now to the Teams and Xeno North America group. So Daniela, would you also put that on that group? It's 7 p.m. Central Time. That would be 8 p.m. So if Daniela, you will put that link on there so people can. And that way you can just pick up your phone, go through your name list, listen for the needs, listen to how you could help somebody, and offer them a solution. I can hear others are saying, you know, offer that solution and then point. So when you're talking, you're pointing to somebody else's meeting. And you could have a lot of people on that get to hear a story. And I like that. Invite them to hear somebody's story. And we could get a lot of people. And maybe, Andy, we should, in our North American Leader Council, which would be one of the first things of maybe organizing some of the top titles to do these alternatively so that we have a place to always invite. Because I know some teams have upline that do meetings and some people just don't. And maybe that would be a way for everybody to learn. Just, I'm thinking out loud here, Andy.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
want
I mean,
as much as possible.
you gotta see, I don't care your rank, you gotta see yourself as a company owner. If all I help is my team, there is no prosperity heart in me. And all great gifts come from above anyway. And your true heart is shown where you can impact where there is no financial connection. So if I can serve, gosh, I'm happy to, because what goes around comes around, the company stronger. Now, another way I could invite tonight is, maybe, hey, a friend of mine or one of my, a partner in, because I'm your partner in business, I'm your friend. We're part of the Zenzino Familia, and say, I heard this guy's story, or my friend, immigrant, came to America with nothing at age 18, grew up in poverty, blue collar worker, started with nothing, college dropout, and gets a friend from church, shares with him the business, get started. Here is his life today. Here's what the company has done, for him. And we have so many of those stories. Come and hear a story tonight. Whether the business is for you or not, I think you'll be impressed. Or come and hear the story tonight of a company expanding big in North America, 20 years in business, a huge breakthrough or huge impact globally, the pioneer and the global leader of test-based nutrition. 7 p.m., be a fly on the wall. And if that's, I mean, that's how much I would go. And if you can call 10 people, don't call one first of all, I bet most people don't even make a list. If you don't have a list, you'll be distracted. You're trying to get on social media to contact somebody, then you're gonna be 10 videos later, your finger will be tired, your eyes will be tired, you'll get up. So do take the time, do build a list. And if you can connect with 4 or 5 people every day, 5 days a week, the next 30 days, you'll be huge. Carla, if you're another prospect that I don't know, I can also briefly, I would say, Carla, have you ever thought about building passive income? Or Carla, found out of this, Norwegian, or this Nordic company expanding big in Wisconsin, expanding big in Dallas, Texas. They're, publicly traded. They've made a huge global impact and could be a big financial opportunity for you if there is a fit. And love to chat. Thought of you because you're in Dallas, or sometimes I'll meet people whenever I fly. I'm like, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Dallas. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd be wanting to launch a business in Dallas. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah. They're like, what kind of business? Now they ask me, and it would be rude of me not to tell them. So I share briefly, and so, but if I may share my screen for a quick moment, Carla, because last November I was not in the business. I went to Norway, and I'll wrap this up right now. I went to Norway last October as a guest, and I was in tears. And I already love Orient customer for years, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is too big. And now we had a small team with a company that Zinzino acquired, and there wasn't time yet to join. Last November our business hadn't merged, but because they corporate comped my convention ticket, and I know that in Zinzino, if you sponsor 5 people, you get a free convention ticket. So I asked Orion, may I sponsor just 5, 6 people so I can learn the back office? And this were everyday people, and so Orion was gracious enough to allow me to sponsor 5 people. I had no applying, they were not in. I found a PowerPoint. I was terrible. but I know that in the, every winner was first a beginner, every master at one point was a disaster. They just started. They started, and you learn and you can tweak by doing more reps. And Carla, last November, with this 5, 6 people, everyday people, me pitching the story myself. I was terrible in the beginning, but I got better. I built 140,000 in volume that month, brand new. No check-ins in Zeno, couldn't really see a back office. And all I did is I was excited. Nothing happens until you get excited. Nothing big happens until you make a decision. When you're born, you look like your mommy and daddy. Later on in life, when you die, you look like your decisions. So I decided, right, this is it. I'm going to launch it big. And my goal is, if I launch a business, I want to share it with 50 to 100 people month one. A bomb is going to fall in my marketplace. And I told this 5 people, hey, I'll do a Zoom Monday through Friday. It was November, Monday through Friday, and invite some people, let them be a fly on the wall. I hadn't earned a dime yet. I was, not even in the business. And Carla, the first night I had my 5 partners, and some of them had a guest or two, and I pitched it. A couple of people said yes. I'm like, tomorrow night, invite somebody. I want to share with you this amazing company expanding in North America. The next night I had more people, more people. By the third week, it boomed. It boomed. The last 4 or 5 days, it like exploded, and I hadn't made a dime, and I waited 2 more months, right, for the company to merge. So I'm here to tell you that if you catch fire, don't focus on what the upline, give me. Don't focus here. Focus on whom you can serve. And leadership is about results and how much time you spend in the presence of prospects. So forget all the junk. If it doesn't move the business, anything that's standing between you and sharing the business and the product and Zinzino, that's a lie. It's what's trying to steal your promise and your future. So get busy, get to work. On my screen as I close this, check this out. Bronze, these are the ranks. Bronze 375, you promote to bronze, silver, gold, executive, 3,000 credits, and you get this amazing bonus. What is it? 400 euros, 400 pay points every month for the next 2 years. And one UPK this month equals 450 credits. 450. So go do the math. Whatever goal you have here, whether you want to become a silver, a gold, a diamond, 12,000 credits, divided by 450, that's how many partners you need. Also, a fast start is around 3,300 credits. If I am brand new today and my goal is diamond, my whole thing is how can I help 3, 4 people become a fast start? So I break it down in terms of where can I find the volume by helping somebody get what they want. By myself, I only knew, I don't know, a couple 100 people or so, but I have a team with thousands of customers because the beauty of this profession. So 90-day run is huge, but this month, you guys, and go big today. I'm going to hang up the phone today. My goal is to invite 10 plus people for my 7 p.m. call tonight. Love to have you be a fly on the wall.
I love it. I love it. There's a lot of people that are going to do the same thing. Maybe this is a challenge. Invite 10 people to be on the call tonight. Now, just to be sure, because some are saying 7 p.m. Central and some are saying 7 p.m. Eastern. Can we get the exact time? 7 p.m.
Central
Which time?
time. 7 p.m.
Central time.
Central.
Okay.
Yeah, right
7
now
p.m.
it's, yeah.
Yeah, so 7 p.m. Central, that would be 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure, because I can see some people might have written a couple things wrong, different places, but let's make sure we get that straight. Now you know exactly what you can be doing to get the maximum out of this month. Go make sure you know exactly how many partners you're going to need and start inviting to those meetings. And I think, Andy, I'll give you a call so that we can make a plan of having some lives for everybody in the North American market to for evenings to have people to invite to maybe different times throughout the day, and we can post that coming up here. So I am going to let everybody unmute, and I'm so grateful to have you on, and I'm so eternally grateful to have even met you, Andy, and that you have taken your time to come on during our busiest month to be training us in this important skill that everybody needs. And there's so many golden nuggets we all got from this. So thank you all. Thank you, Andy. So appreciate you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Andy. You're amazing.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Amazing. Thanks to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Andy.
Greetings
You're
from
a rock
Finland.
star.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Carla.
And
Thanks,
thank you,
everybody.
Carla, for sure.
Thank
Thank you, Carla. You're
Thank
amazing.
you, Carla and
Thanks,
Andy.
everybody. Thank you, Andy. And we'll see everybody next week. Bye,
See you
all.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.